Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grind. Here's your host, JB.
Hey, welcome to another week of the breakdown, man. It's SoCon Championship week. It's going to be a great day in Boone at the Holmes Convocation Center Sunday. It's going to be a long day, that's for sure. It will be a long day of wrestling, but I will tell you what, I've not looked forward to a day so much in a long time. It's going to be great seeing those guys out there in Boone. The whole SoCon will be back in Boone again this season for the Southern Conference Tournament Championship. Should be a great time. We're getting a lot of accolades for the team late in the season as usual. So it'll be a great tournament, and I'm hopeful we've got pretty good chances of sending another crew to the Nationals. So looking forward to that. I think it'll be a great tournament for the guys. I know that they're eager and ready. Sounds like they've stayed healthy and done the things they've needed to do with the COVID protocols in place to make sure they could get there. So I'm going to bring on Coach JohnMark Bentley here in just a second. But before we do, give us a share, a like, a retweet, mention somebody that you know would want to catch the episode in the chat there. We would definitely appreciate it. Go check us out on Rockfin. We're over there again tonight. Chime in there and let us know if you're checking it out. Let me know how the production is over there, the audio and video quality, what you think about it. We're back up over there tonight as well. So definitely appreciate you guys supporting us. Appreciate you tuning in and checking out the feed. If you have any questions for Coach, jump on over here onto the Facebook, or I will pop in over on Rockfin and leave a comment or a question for Coach. We'll get to him in just a second, and I'll be sure to get to your comments or your questions, whatever it is that you might have. But let's go check in with Coach JohnMark Bentley there, back in the Bentley household tonight. Coach, how's things going?
Oh, it's going well, Jeremy. It's going well. Just settling in for the evening, getting the kids bathed and, ready for another school day and, another day of work. So just another weekday.
Yeah, man. I apologize. I text Coach about, I think maybe 20 minutes before we're getting ready to come on the air and said, hey, can we do this Friday or Saturday? He's like, how about bump it back a little bit? So appreciate your flexibility there, Coach. It's been one of those weeks, I think, for everybody, man. It's kind of, there's kind of that feel in the air, right? Like this whole year-long buildup of ready to let go is, there tends to be the reality or the thought process that it's in the air, like the big release is getting ready to happen. I'm sure in athletics over at App State Athletics, I'm sure that's kind of the feel for it for you guys as well, because it sounds like the governor is releasing some of those tight restrictions that he's had on you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the announcement yesterday, and I know there's some talks right now going on with the university and the conference that they're going to increase the amount of ticket allotments to student athletes. I think they're going to increase it from 2 to 4 for the student athletes participating in the event and for the coaches, which should bump up the attendance, an extra, 35, 40 people for each school, and just kind of depend on how that pans out, how many tickets are requested. We'll see if there's any room for any more. But I got that news late this afternoon, and I think the Southern Conference is going to be reaching out to all the coaches and letting them know that they're increasing that number from two comps per student athlete to 4, and so that'll be obviously a welcomed increase to build some kind of an atmosphere in the home center this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It won't be packed and raucous like it was last season for the tournament. But it's good to hear that the student athletes will get some more of their family in there. That's for sure. I mean, that's probably one of the most important events for a lot of those guys of the season. So being able to have some family and friends in there is going to be good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just hate it for these parents. You think about it. followed their kid's career. And, some of these young men have been wrestling their whole life, and their parents, a lot of them are very involved in, their upbringing and their participation in the sport of wrestling. And then, to go to an environment where a lot of places aren't allowing fans is just, it's just unfathomable. And I think at the Big Ten championships, from everything I'm hearing, they're still not going to allow even parents to watch the event live.
That's not surprising, man. The Big Ten has kind of blown me away the way they've handled the fall sports all season long. So it's not surprising that they do something like that. But I'm glad to hear that they're increasing the allotment for our student athletes for this season at the SoCon, because that's, like you said, this is, for some of these guys, I mean, this is the last time they're going to wrestle. So it's at least at a college level. So it's good to see that, good to hear that. Looking forward to a few more fans in the stands for a wrestling event in Boone. Coach, how's the team doing? How's the mood? How's the training been going for the 10 guys that are going to compete on Sunday? What's the atmosphere like?
Oh, guys are looking great. We've had a good week of training thus far. Our starters are kind of tapering off now, and workouts are getting short, but are still intense. And the guys are looking refreshed and energized and excited for this weekend. Excited for another opportunity to compete. And I don't think anybody takes that for granted anymore in these days. Every time they get a chance to compete, I think they're excited. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we've already know that Davidson paused their program and won't be competing in this. So literally in the blink of an eye, the entire program can be set down, and that's something to be reminded of. Definitely a good point there. And is Bellarmine, are they not competing because it's their first season? Is that kind of the stipulation?
Yeah, I think they're on a 2-year postseason, in that period where they have to kind of go through a two-year transition period before they can compete in the postseason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think 2023 may be their first opportunity to compete at the NCAAs.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so what do we have, 7 teams that'll be there then? Is it?
Yes, that's right.
7 teams will be there. Yeah, so it'll still be a pretty full day still as well. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the seeds that we gathered for this tournament. Let's start out with the 125, and this is, I think I expected this going into the start of the season. Cody Russell coming up with that number 1 seed for the 125, which really isn't a surprise. I mean, Cody's been solid all season long. He's went out and got it done, and wrestled some high caliber guys. I mean, some of these guys, Fabian Gutierrez, Campbell, the Storm guy, Zerk Storm, and some of those other guys that he's competed against and done pretty well. So it's not a surprise to me to see Cody at number 1 in the 125.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great year so far, and hopefully it's just getting started. And I'll start out by saying, the theme in our room all week and in our locker room, we're not talking about the seeds. We don't care about the seeds. We don't take anything for granted from the seeds. It's about, we're going to have whoever the first match in front of us is, we're going to go out there and compete our best, and then we'll worry about the next guy after that. I really caution our guys, and that's just not the way we approach it in our program. We don't look at the brackets and try to figure out who we're going to be wrestling here and who we're going to be wrestling there. And, we don't really scout our opponents a ton. We don't do a ton of, trying to figure out what our opponents are going to do and stop it. We're more concerned about just making sure our guys are ready to compete and execute the things they do well. And that's kind of the mindset that our guys have. We're just trying to keep our blinders on, focus on what you can control, stay off social media, stay off the talk about the seeds and the matchups and all that kind of stuff. And, all that stuff a lot of times is just wasted energy. So we don't really spend a whole lot of time talking about it. It doesn't really, it doesn't even factor into, kind of what our goals and our motivation are, what the seeds are this week.
Coach, I could have answered that for you. I knew that's exactly what you were going to say before you said it. But you know what? we've got to feed the fans, and the fans, I can tell you right now, the fans have absolutely loved talking about the Seeds this season. So we definitely got to feed those appetites as well. We might have to switch roles one of these nights. I might have to go sit in your seat, and you could come and sit in mine. And I've almost got your answer. I knew exactly how long it was going to take you to answer that, and everything that you were going to say in between. Yeah, we can appreciate that, but I will tell you what, as some fans, as when I seen them come out, I was like, man, some of these guys are, Sean Carter, I think, is another one. He's had a good season, but I think he's probably capable of much more. See him come out at number 2. That's a good seed for him. And the one right next door to him, this is the one that really has blown me away. Anthony Burrito coming out at number 2, and that's 141. Burrito coming out with number 2. That is a surprise. I think you'll probably agree, Coach. I think you mentioned that last week, having guys in that weight class. Him in that weight class that steps up the way he has this season. That's been a good one for us because we definitely needed that one.
Yeah, I'm okay with where he's at, entering the tournament. But, once again, personally, I think he's capable of winning the tournament. So, the same thing with Sean Carter. I mean, I think that our goal is not to finish second at those 2 weights. Our goal is to win them. And, that's what I mean. I mean, like I said, the Seeds, they never play out the way that they're forecasted to. So, if you get caught up too much in that, you kind of overlook something else. So, we're just going to try to, make sure our guys are in the best position possible and ready to compete. So guys like those guys that are maybe the 2 seed can find themselves to the top of the podium.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it'll be about for those guys. I know for a fact. Sean coming off a little bit of a disappointing season last season in the SoCon, so I know he's looking to get back out there and make a name for himself and redeem himself in that one. Brito, obviously, I mean, that young man has been solid all season long, so I know he's looking to make a name out there as well. Be good to see what comes out of those 2 guys there. 149, we've got, man, this is no surprise. John at number 1. It's going to be a long day. If John's on his game, anybody that's in that bracket, anywhere underneath him, it's going to be a long day. John definitely got the ability and has got the season to ride this one out all the way to the end.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to have some tough matches in the tournament. I mean, there's some good wrestlers. There's 3 returning national qualifiers in that weight. And, he's just got to take one match at a time and, hopefully get himself in a position to where, he can compete to win another conference championship and then, get his sights set on St. Louis. Obviously the goal doesn't end here this weekend. I mean, guys like him, their goal is to be an All-American, in 3 weeks in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's he's got an opportunity there, Coach, and I'm pretty excited about that young man. He keeps it together, keeps a level head, keeps focused and concentrated on the next mission, the next guy, and across the mat from him. I think he could have a pretty special close to the season. 157, Coach, Cody Bond. Man, that kid's got a story to tell, Coach. I was completely blown away at the time that he was on the breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, Cody's had a really solid year and, kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people that aren't in the inner circles of our program. No one really kind of expected him to be the guy and the guy that would be not only in our lineup, but having a lot of success. He's ranked in a lot of the polls and the coaches' rankings just came out today and he's ranked in top 33 in those. And, he's built himself a good little resume and he's gaining experience and, I think for him, he's, I'm excited to see him this weekend. He's another one, I think the goal for him is to win a conference championship, So. Yeah.
That's, he's got a heck of a story. If you guys didn't hear his episode on the breakdown, go and listen to that episode with Cody. I will tell you what, that's a young man that's been through some adversity and has completely come out the other side, a different student athlete altogether. So go listen to that if you haven't. Coach, 165, we've got the Southern Conference Wrestler of the Year in Will Formato at number 1. I was not the least bit surprised, Will Formato, that you were the SoCon Wrestler of the Year. But you still got a lot of work ahead of you, so don't get laxed, and make sure you're ready for Sunday, Coach. That's going to be that could be a special bracket for Will as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of competition in that weight, and I mean, he's going to have to be ready to wrestle every single match. He can't take anything for granted. He's going to have some battles ahead of him, but I think he's up for the challenge. And I'll say this: I mean, I think that there's still some things that Will can do that the fans nor his opponents have even seen yet. I can tell you from personal experience, Coach Miller and I have been talking about it a lot lately. I don't think anyone's seen the best version of Will yet. That's what's scary. I mean, I think he's got a lot left to that most people haven't even seen yet.
Yep. I will just agree with you, but I think he keeps it together, stays focused this Sunday. I think we could see Will's best wrestling come up in the Nationals when he gets out there and is really tested, and I'm completely looking forward to that. Flitz, 174, Thomas, if you do listen to this, I'm looking forward to you closing this one out this season. This is going to be a challenge. I know Flitz has got what it takes. I have complete confidence in that. Looking forward to seeing this one. Not surprised at the seeding, but I know Thomas is very capable of being that number one seed and completely closing out that entire bracket and taking that championship home.
Yeah, Thomas is really motivated right now, and he's had a great year, and even though he's going into the conference tournament as the number 2 seed, and had a loss in the conference, I think it's been good for him. It's motivated him, and maybe puts takes a little bit of pressure off of him, and he's another one that I think honestly he's still got some things that he's capable of doing that a lot of people haven't seen yet, and he had a great day of training today. I had him in my individuals today, and he had a really good day of training and is looking really sharp right now, feeling good, and I'm excited for him to get that opportunity again this weekend.
Yeah, you and me both, Coach. I look back at the match against the kid at Campbell. If he could have had that over again, I'm sure that I'm pretty sure we'd have had a different outcome. But definitely looking forward to seeing that eventually rematch, hopefully on Sunday, because I think Flitz has got it. 184. Julian's had kind of an up and down year, Coach. Come out looking really, really good. Stuttered there for a couple of duels, but coming in at number 5, I think that's a respectful. He could be a little bit higher, I think, but I think Julian's best wrestling is still ahead of him. I think he's an extremely talented young man. I think he's one of those guys you see that has a streak of very good matches and duels. And then it seems he gets one hard loss and it really takes it from him. But I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Julian rebound at the SoCon this season, coming at number 5 at the 184.
Yeah, I mean, I think Julian's capable of finishing higher than that. I mean, we need him to finish higher than that, and I mean, he's had some ups and downs, but I mean, he's still young. I mean, he's a true sophomore, and I think he's actually he's capable of really opening some eyes up and wrestling some high level matches. He's had spurts of showing that kind of ability throughout the year. It's just a matter of putting it together for a full 7 minutes. And that's what we've really been focused on in our training the last couple of weeks. And I think he's feeling good right now, and I think he feels like he's got nothing to lose, and could be a really scary opponent this weekend, and I think he's primed to maybe kind of have his breakout performance.
Yeah, that's good. If there is one of our wrestlers that aren't in the top 2 seeds of any of the weight classes that I'm pretty confident could do it, Julian's one of them. I mean, he is, he definitely has what it takes, and like I said, you see that streak of brilliance from him, and it just one terrible loss just kind of takes it from him. And the one that kind of keeps coming back to me is the loss there at VMI, like right there at the end where he took that fall. That was pretty tough. And I know, we talked to a lot of alumni, and most of them had said, 90% of this sport is mental. So, Julian, we're pulling for you, man. I definitely know your best wrestling's ahead of you. So looking forward to seeing you compete and definitely finishing higher than that number 5 spot. Coach Mason, I think, is another one, right? This kid is a grinder, and I think that he's very well capable of finishing higher than where he's at number 4 in the 197.
Yeah, I mean, Mason's, he's kind of really, just kind of starting to fill into the weight class. He was a 184 pounder to start the season, and when Paul Carson went down, we kind of moved him up. So he's finally just now getting the size on to be a full size 97 pounder. I think getting the experience, being in those big matches with some pressure is going to benefit him well this weekend. To have already had those experiences. And I don't think he's wrestled his best yet, and so once again I think he's capable of really outperforming that seed, and so I'm excited for him. I think he's he's going to compete hard this weekend, and if he just believes in himself, I think he could he could do some really, really special things this weekend.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Heavyweights, we've got Mike Brichelle at number 4. This is, if there's a guy in this tournament that could go from lower than 1 or 2 and win it, Mike can do it. He definitely can do it. He definitely has the athletic ability. I think that's another guy that's taken some losses that he probably didn't anticipate taking. But if he goes out there and performs and focuses on the guy across from him at every match, this could be a guy that turns that number 4 into a pretty special SoCon tournament.
Yeah, he's definitely capable. He's looked really good in his training in the last couple of weeks. It looks like he believes that that's a possibility and that he's capable of winning the weight class. I think he knows he's going to have some challenging matches. Put 3 good matches together that day is what's going to be important for him. But he's definitely capable of doing it. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. He's healed up from an injury he had in the early part of the season that kind of hampered his training a little bit. And so he's had a really good stretch here the last 3-4 weeks of training. And, I'm really thinking that, he's another one that could have a breakout performance this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that, Coach. But what I'm looking forward to most is hanging that championship banner up again in Varsity Gym. We need to bring this one home. Looking forward to watching that team compete on Sunday, Coach. Any last words? Anything you'd like to put out? Anything that the fans may not have heard about? I know there's obviously with the Will Formato SoCon Wrestler of the Year coming out. Always great news. Looking forward to finding out once this one is closed up who the guys are that are going on. I'm sure that we'll probably send at least a couple of guys up that way. Hopefully we can come out with a few more. Would definitely be nice.
Yeah, the SoCon just announced today their regular season awards. Like you mentioned, Will Formato was named Southern Conference Wrestler of the Year. We had 3 other all-conference wrestlers, Cody Russell, John Milner, and Will Formato were all named all-conference. And then one of our true freshmen, Tristan Pugh, was named to the all-freshman team. And so those were the things that were released today. And, going into the conference tournament this weekend, we talked about the weight classes. Obviously, as a team, we're going to have a battle in front of us this Sunday, and we're excited for the challenge. You know what I mean? We're excited for that opportunity to try to go earn another conference championship. And, we know it's not going to be easy. We're ready for the battle, and, we're ready to just kind of get after it and try to earn it.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are eager, and I'm sure that the student athletes, the wrestlers, are eager to get out there and kind of maybe venge that tough loss there at Campbell, because there's no doubt if we could redo that one this season, that would swing a different way. And I know that's got to be in their mind of getting out and getting that back for us. So definitely looking forward to that competition. Great accolades out of the Southern Conference for our wrestlers. Not surprising. It's year after year that we get those kind of recognitions within the team. Another great regular season. Obviously didn't end exactly the way we wanted it to and hoped to, but we've got another opportunity in front of us on Sunday, Coach. It's and the really exciting thing is, folks, we get to do this 2 more times in Boone. So this one's going to be a little bit limited. I would expect next year's Southern Conference tournament to be a little bit more accessible to fans, and then obviously the following year we've got this opportunity 2 more years in Boone, and I can tell you right now, if you want to be a part of the most action-packed thing going on in Boone in the spring or late winter, you got to be at Holmes Convocation Center where the Southern Conference tournament is in town. I will tell you right now, it is a long day. Coach, what time is the doors open for the Home Center? Do you know?
I think it opens at 9. I think wrestling starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so it goes all the way up, and I think the finals don't even start until like 7 on Sunday. So I would say this: if you're looking for the most action-packed 2 to 3 hours in Boone in February, plan to be at the Home Convocation Center. You're probably not going to get in this season, but next season for the finals. I will tell you right now, you're not going to find a more action-packed place to be. There's no basketball game that's at that action-packed. There's not a baseball game that's going to be that action-packed. It'll be at the Holmes Convocation Center for the SoCon tournament. I promise you that. Always a great time. Looking forward to catching it, Coach. We'll be there, part of the grind, and I think the rest of the crew will be there. So we're looking forward to catching you guys and seeing some more action on the map. Maybe another scary carry moment. It'd be good to see one of them number 2 seeds come out with another scary carry moment and take the championship away from somebody.
Well, that's the beauty. That's why you wrestle it. Those seeds don't mean anything once the first whistle blows Saturday or Sunday morning.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's what keeps me in the seat watching it, because it can go either way. So looking forward to that, Coach. Coach, we appreciate your time. I don't know. I guess we'll talk after the SoCon and in between the Nationals at some point. But let's plan to do a follow-up shortly after the SoCon, and maybe if we can bring on some of the successful guys that's made the impact, and maybe even moving on to the Nationals. We might have to make it a little bit longer episode with a few guys that end up joining us. So looking forward to catching up with you guys. I'd like to catch up with you Sunday, but I know it's going to be tough because it's going to be so late by the time we get done. But definitely earlier in the week, maybe we can get you back on with some of the other guys.
Sounds good.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you, and have a great night there in the Bentley house.
All right. See you, buddy.
Another great episode. I promise you guys, if you have the opportunity to go to the SoCon, get a ticket and go. If you don't this season, plan to go next season. It is absolutely phenomenal to see that caliber of wrestling in the Holmes Convocation Center. Excited to see it. We will be back hopefully at the beginning of next week with an episode and talk to Coach about the results, and maybe even bring on some of the student athletes that come away successful, and maybe some of them that are moving on to the Nationals. So it'll be good to talk to them. Appreciate you tuning in. Go check us out on our Patreon. Our Patreon group is still around. Check us out there, help us out there, and go check us out on Rockfin. We appreciate everybody's support, and looking forward to Sunday. Go Apps.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.